Well, one of the teams going into the Hall of Fame this year, the Hugh McFadden skip team that won the 1986 Manitoba and Canadian Junior Championships. We have the second from that team, Norm Gould, joining us. Norm, first of all, what's it like to be a member of the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame today?
Well, it's an incredible honor. It's very fond memories back in 1986 and the time that we spent together as a team. Very proud of the guys and everything that we were able to accomplish during that period of time.
1986, think back to it. Did you expect the kind of run that you eventually went on? Did you think that was possible when you started that year?
Well, at the time, we thought we were pretty good. We were pretty cocky, the kids at the time. And we strung some wins together and did some really great things. And unfortunately, we weren't able to string it together the following year when we went to the Worlds and win that final game. But, when you look back many, many years later, I wouldn't trade anything.
Right. Well, you did. Yeah, you represented Canada at the '87 Worlds. Does that loss in the gold medal game still kind of sting a little bit now that you think about it?
I don't know. So many years later, that
Yeah.
no, it doesn't sting anymore. And subsequent, I had a pretty good number of years when I was coaching with Jeff Stoughton and my younger brother Steve. He's a pretty good curler. You might have heard of the Tick Man. He's won a couple of world championships. So kind of through him, we've had some victories in the world stage. So we all mature and we all grow up, and I don't even think about it really.
Speaking of Jeff Stoughton, the third on your team was, of course, John Mead, a longtime member of the Stoughton team. How often does the team maybe get together? Do you guys still meet up once in a while, maybe talk about old times?
There was a number of years ago where I remember we all got our old uniforms, we put them on, and we went bar hopping around. That was many, many years ago. But Hugh lives in Calgary. Jonathan's very busy, and so is John. We all have families, but when we get together, it's really quick to reminisce.
All right, well, congrats on the honor today, Norm. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
All right. Well, we have with us representing the McTavish family today, Gord and John McTavish, both the sons of Dr. Bill McTavish and related to June as well. Let's start with Dr. Bill McTavish's team, 1973 Manitoba and Canadian Senior Champions. First of all, what's it like to kind of represent your dad at a function like this today?
Oh, it truly is an honor. The McTavish family, thanks to Dad, has been curling in the Winnipeg community for many, many years. Dad represented Manitoba in the 1950 Brier when he went 22 games undefeated and won the province and all the jewelry that went along with it. And we certainly picked up the game from him. We've had, my brother was a Manitoba champion in the Canadian juniors. My brother Bill was a Canadian and world champion in the juniors. And my brother Jamie curled in BC and represented the seniors. I was the only one that followed Dr. Bill's footsteps and went into medicine. So I'm the only one that has never had a buffalo, and I'm reminded of it constantly. But it's an honor, it truly is. And that 1973 team of Dad and Bunt McLean and John McLean and Harry Sulkers and their wives was just something that was magical. They had a great friendship, a great family team, and they curled some excellent curling in those years in 73, winning the province and then going on to win the Canadians.
Right.
So it was great. It's truly an honor to be coming here to represent Dad's team and winning that honor.
And I was told you're on call too, Doctor, so we'll make this pretty quick. We'll talk about June now. You called it a cousins removed, but she had the great, is it the Baidowi mixed league? Did I get that name right? Why was that so successful?
Well, she basically introduced a lot of people to curling. She was a school teacher. She taught at John Henderson Junior High, and she ran the junior Baidowi program, which introduced a lot of kids. And then she had her regulars on Saturdays and Sundays, and she used over the course of the Baidowi career, I guess it was about 5 curling clubs in the Winnipeg area, and it was well attended. And she actually probably had no idea that the impact that she would have on curling, the number of people that she introduced to the game.
Do you have any memories of maybe curling in that league at all, or being a part of it in any way?
Oh yes, yeah. She made sure all of us had to appear or play in any of her bonspiels that she would have, or just spare in the regular league. But yeah, she was always in contact with us, and she was a lovely lady. And like I say, she probably had no idea the impact that she would eventually have on the game.
All right, congrats to both of you. A great day for the McTavish family. A couple of them going into the Manitoba Curling Hall of Fame. We'll be back right after this. Well, it doesn't get much more Canadian than this. You've probably heard about it or seen it. Crokinole and curling combined to create Crokicurl at the Forks. Liz Rayford joins us from Public City Architecture, kind of the brainchild of Crokicurl, I would say. Where does the idea come from, first of all, for Crokicurl?
Well, we do a lot of public art, and we're always looking for ways to get people outside and playing and engaged with the community. And we play a lot of crokinole at the office, and it's been in my family for generations, actually. So I think we were just sitting around in the summer thinking, how come these two things have never been together before? It seems like such a obvious fit, and so we designed it, and here it is.
How does the game work then? It's going on behind us right now. What are kind of the basic rules of the game as far as you know?
Okay, so the rules are pretty close to crokinole. It's played on the big ice surface behind us, but it's played with curling rocks. And the idea is to get the rocks into the center button, which is a depressed hole in the ice. And each colored ring is consecutively fewer points as you go out from the center of the ring. So the idea is to get as many rocks into the center by knocking the opponent's rock out of the way.
You were telling me earlier you're probably an expert at doing interviews down. You got so much attention about this. Did you expect this kind of feedback and coverage for this idea when you first started?
Well, we knew it would probably be pretty popular because we were so excited to play it, but the amount of attention it's gotten all across Canada is pretty incredible. We've had people contacting us from all over the place, and even Australia and Minneapolis and all over the place. Actually, it's been pretty incredible, and it just kind of blew up, and people have embraced it. It's exciting.
Have you thought of the future of this thing? Do you maybe want to do a little bit more with it in terms of maybe events or anything that you've thought of for down the road for this rink?
I think that would be great. Right now we're sort of perfecting which rocks we need to use and like adjusting the rules slightly. And I mean, it would be great if it started to appear across Canada, and hopefully it will be back at the Forks every year.
All right, joining us now, it's Chelsea Thompson from the Forks. Chelsea, when this idea first came to you guys here, what was kind of the thought about Crokicurl? Was it a no-brainer to kind of have this installed here?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that we love about the Forks is that a lot of people come to us with their quote-unquote crazy ideas or fun, creative ideas. And if we can make it work, we will. We sort of have a say yes and figure out how to later motto, and this was a great example of that. And we knew it would be a big hit.
Already so much to do here in the winter. How much does this kind of add to the winter experience and just how great it is here every winter?
Yeah, like you said, I do believe it just adds to the overall winter feel. And it's also something that hopefully can extend the life. Like something like the river trail, we are always at the mercy of Mother Nature. And there's a lot of factors, snow and wind and sun, of course, that affect that. And this is something on land that's a bit easier to control. So in some ways we can extend the life of winter with something like this.
So how can folks go about when they come here to the Forks? What do they have to do to get going on the rinks behind us here? Can they just kind of show up and start playing, or what's kind of the process there?
Yeah, so the rocks are right on the ice surface, and really during like main market hours, kind of like 11 to 11 is when the rocks are out and available. The only thing that we ask is that if someone else is waiting to play, you limit your time to about an hour. Okay. And yeah, just ask others to join in. We think it's a really great community activity. So yeah, don't be shy to invite others to play with you.
Down the road and in future winters, do you maybe see this as a mainstay here, something we're going to see every winter, or have you thought that far ahead yet?
Yeah, we're sort of dealing with keeping winter going as long as we can this year, but I can't see any reason why we wouldn't want to bring it back next year. It's been really successful for us.
Okay, Chelsea Thompson, thank you so much for the time.
My pleasure.